Hello, welcome to episode 24 of Chris's Moto Life. Today, we're in a clandestine location in Susquehanna County, PA. We've shot from here before, not this exact place, but we've shot from Susquehanna County. There seems to be like a little collector clique up here, and I'm finding some really cool stuff. Today, why don't we start with this 1972 Triumph TR6. What a great collector car. I mean, if anybody wants to get into the collector car hobby, these are not a lot of money. It's rare to see these go over $20,000. And you kind of get the quintessential English driving experience, aka bumpy and shaky, from the 1970s. This one was made in June of 1972, which is funny. June of 1972, Hurricane Agnes was ripping through eastern Pennsylvania, flooding the Wyoming Valley, flooding Harrisburg, and over in the UK, these craftsmen were merrily humming away, building some Triumphs. Let's take some further look at this. What I like about this one is, look at the seats, are just no rips in the seats. The carpeting looks beautiful. I'm loving this leather boot. And this dashboard is crack-free. It's rare to see one of these. Well, there might be a little. No, that's not a crack. That's wood grain. It's pretty rare to see these that aren't all cracked and aren't all like loose and hanging out. This car's got, I think I'm reading 62,000 miles on it. I may well believe that this is an original 62,000 miles because I'm looking at the paint, and this paint does not appear to have been redone. And if it was definitely some time ago. It's kind of an interesting color. What would you call this? I think it's called primrose yellow. Jaguar, I think, used a very similar color on their E-Type, So this must be an English thing. Must be a 70s thing, to be honest with you. This is an oddball color. This wouldn't have been a desirable color back in the day, but I think today it actually adds a little bit of mystique to this car and a little bit of collectability. And check this out. I have never seen one of these on a Triumph. I've never seen a ski rack like this. Remember, back in the day, you would be rich if you had this car. I remember, like, our neighbor was a stockbroker that drove one of these when I grew up in Dallas, Pennsylvania, not Texas. And, you know, the rich guy, he would be driving, him and his girlfriend would be taking their skis up to Elk Mountain. I mean, you know, people weren't sissies back then. They didn't need sport utility vehicles. You bought a sports car like this, you'd throw some snow tires on it and take it up to the mountains. Let's take a look at the engine on this. Look at how clean this is. You can eat off of this engine bay. It's rare to see that. I mean, for a car that, I think this car's like, what is it? If it's a 72, 28 plus 18 is 46. This car's 46 years old, going on 50 years old, and look at it. Everything is stock. Everything appears to be as it should be. It's got the dual Stromberg carbs. Interestingly enough, these are the same carburetors that are on my Lotus Europa. So a lot of English cars, a lot of parts bin engineering, aka they would just use what was available. If you look at this heater control valve, same thing is used on the MGB, same thing is used on my Lotus. You'll see that in most British cars. On the MG, they were smart enough to put this right over the distributor, so when it inadvertently would leak on you, it would leak on your electrics and leave you stranded. Ask me how I know. Okay, guess what, guys? Look what we've got here. Not only do we have a TR6, but we've also got an MGB. This is a 1971 MGB. This is when they were still a lot of fun. Back in the day, these had, I think, about 95 horsepower, I want to say, the engine originally had. This one appears to have been repainted. I could see spots where I could tell that it was repainted. Other than that, it's pretty well done. I mean, I'm looking at this, and some of this stuff just seems to be, I mean, it's showing 80,000 miles. Okay, I'm going to agree with that. I think that could be a very realistic 80,000 miles. You're not going to tell me that it would be in this good a shape, though. After 80,000 miles in Pennsylvania, very rare to see one in a very, very original shape. Another interesting thing, these door handles in here, same door handles as used on my Lotus Europa again. Again, parts bin engineering at its finest. The English were great. British Leyland, it was a conglomerate. Triumph, MG, Jaguar, back in the day, come on, they would just grab whatever they had on the shelf. Want to see something really cool that you don't see a lot in these MGBs? Check out that trunk carpeting kit. As it came from the factory, it would be, you would just see the unpainted. Inside, look at this. Look at how nice this is. I mean, you can throw your suit coat in there if you really wanted to. Something to note, every amateur, they don't know how to do this, how to just pull that up after it's snapped, and they yank it down. So whenever you look at an MGB, run your finger right here. I'll bet you're going to feel where it's raised. Because some lunkhead did not know how to close the trunk. Let's move up to the front. Let's take a look at the engine bay. This is a 1971. As I said, we're still pretty early in the run. I think the MGB, oh God, I think it was early 60s when they came out. I want to say, no, 63 is when the 911 came out. These supplanted the MGA. I almost want to say like early to mid 60s when they came out. Good God, guys, I'm going to be 55 next week, and my memory is like Swiss cheese. I can't remember like I used to. I used to know everything about these. I've already had 3 of these. I had a 1980, I had 80 MGB limited edition. I've had a 1972 BGT. My sister had a 76. She had a midget. I had a parts car that I used to tear apart. I mean, I used to be able to get these engines out in about an hour, hour and a half. Just really neat cars. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This is really nice. 71. Why do I keep saying 72? 71, it's got the original maroon coloring. Looks like somebody repainted this engine. I would, again, after 82,000 miles, I would find that really hard to believe if this was completely stock. What else is neat? Here we see over on this side again. Hey, look at that. It's our favorite little heater control valve. Just kind of looks a lot like the one in the Triumph. This one still has its original radiator fan, which really is a big no-no on these. What you really should do is take that fan off, put an external fan on here, wire it to the sensor, to the coolant sensor, so that it would pop on automatically, and also have a toggle switch inside so that when you're in traffic, you can just hit that toggle switch and it'll blow cool air through here. Very important to keep these cool. Remember, in the UK, they didn't have the kind of heat that we had. Speaking of that, they made about 500,000 of these. Out of the 500,000, since these were built for export, they were, I think it was like 70-80% were sent to America, California. What if you had one in Arizona, Florida? You've really got to upgrade the cooling. I think that's all that I'm trying to tell you. Another neat thing that this one has is it's got an Allison electronic ignition in it. No more playing with points, no more fiddling around. Just turn the key and go. Isn't that what we really want to do with our collectible cars? You just want to drive them. This has the bumper overriders, which were very, very much, these are very, I don't know, man, your purists never like these, because it had such a clean line. Such clean lines it had, and then due to U.S. regulations, they had to put the overriders on. Again, we push that down. Just a beautiful car. 95 horsepower. Lightweight, and you'll notice that, let's go back to the Triumph. Look at how clean the Triumph looks without the bumper overriders on it. I mean, look, we can compare the front ends. So maybe somebody took them off, or it has to do with bumper height. It may have to do with bumper height. I don't know. This one, this MGB, you'll see a lot of MGBs with wire wheels. These are called row-style wheels with the trim rings on them. I like these a lot better. You know why? Very little maintenance. All right. Well, what do you think, guys? Pretty interesting little collection here. I think I wouldn't mind having this in my garage. Oh, by the way, this MGB is for sale. If anybody is interested in buying it, just IM me. This would be a great car to get you into the collector hobby. It's clean. It's been repainted. And it appears that everything's been done right. It's clean. I think the only issue that the owner was complaining about was during a parade, it was running a little hot. But if you did my fan idea, which would only cost you maybe a couple $100 on a Saturday afternoon, this car would be awesome. I'm tempted to buy it. I'm just kidding. After having 3 of them, I think I'm done with MGBs for a while. I like German. Okay. You know what, guys? I really want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Chris's Moto Life. I really appreciate that you take your time and watch these. I mean, it's fun. I get comments back. Anybody wants to make any comments, you got questions, hit me up. It's all in fun. And I want you all to have an awesome week ahead.